Let's jump right into the next episode of Basey Brings Northsiders. Starting off with the Cubs-Giants series recap. The Cubs dropped the first game to the Giants and lost 18-3. This is one of the worst losses I've ever seen the Cubs go through, and definitely the worst of the season, because not only did they give up 18 runs, lose by 15 runs, but also they did that to the second worst team in the league, the San Francisco Giants. Edward Cabrera gave up 8 runs, while Hobie Milner gave up 6. You know what's bad when Carson Kelly's one of the better pitchers in that game. So the Cubs lost Game 1 of the series. In Game 2, however, they turned it around, winning 3-2 over the Giants. Ben Brown absolutely dealt for the first 5 and a third. However, as soon as he was taken out, Caleb Thielbar gave up a solo home run to Rafael Devers as the Giants struck first. However, in the bottom of the 6th, PCA answered with a solo home run to right to make it a 1-1 game. However, in the top of the 9th, Matt Chapman hit an RBI sacrifice fly to bring in the go-ahead run. However, in the bottom of the 9th, down to their last out and last chance, PCA homered again. A solo shot to right that went really far. In the top of the 10th, Ryan Rollison shut out the Giants. And in the bottom of the 10th, Michael Busch hit a single to right. The Giants' right fielder missed the ball with his glove and prevented the Giants from winning, because Dansby Swanson would have been held at third base. However, since the ball went under his glove, Dansby was able to come home, and the Cubs won 3-2. The third game of the series was played on Sunday Night Baseball. I will say, I really loved Anthony Rizzo in the booth. I'd love him to join the marquee crew. Anyway, the Cubs and Giants were in a pitcher's duel, not the hitter's game. J-Mo gave up a run early in the first inning. However, in the second inning, he left with a hamstring strain and is now on IL. However, Javier Assad came in to take his place and delivered 6 1/3 innings of 1 hit, 5K, 1 walk, shutout baseball. It was amazing stuff from Javier Assad. Jacob Webb finished the 8th inning. Daniel Palencia threw a scoreless 9th, and Trent Thornton gave up the go-ahead run. And besides a Moises Ballesteros RBI single in the 3rd, the Cubs could do nothing on offense, despite having many scoring opportunities in the 8th and 9th innings. Even the 10th, too, as the Cubs had a runner at third, with only 1 out. Alex Bregman made the final out, prompting him to make comments about saying he was terrible. That's pretty surprising to see. And the Cubs dropped Game 3 of the series to the Giants, 2-1. Frankly, the Cubs' offense and pitching has just been unacceptable. Not only did the Cubs only score 7 runs in the series against the Giants, but they also gave up, checks notes, 22 runs in that series. The pitching has just been awful. The rotation is trash. Ben Brown is their only great pitcher right now. And while that's been amazing to see, J-Mo, Shota, Ray, and Tyone, that's J-Mo. J-Mo, Shota, Ray, and Cabrera have not been pulling their weight. Now, I understand that's hard to do with a battered rotation, as the Cubs have had, as Matthew Boyd, Justin Steele, and Cade Horton are all out. But the Cubs can still do better than this. We've seen better from these guys. And their offense has also been unacceptable. I mean, it's hard to win many games when you only score 1 run, or 2 runs, or 3 runs. There's no singular culprit to place this on either. PCA and Michael Busch, besides those two, have been the only good 2 hitters. Everyone else has been bad. Ballesteros, Amaya, Bregman, Happ has been streaky, Suzuki has been streaky, Horner's been bad, and Carson Kelly's been bad. Dansby Swanson's been bad, We've seen better from these guys. This is a team that is being paid way too much money. Most of their roster is got veterans built on superstar contracts. They should be doing better than this. However, when can they and how can they turn it around? Well, this is the series to do it because the Cubs will play a 3-game series in Colorado against the Rockies. The Rockies are 24-42, and Coors Field is a great hitter's park, and this would be a great time for the Cubs to spark again on offense. It'll be Colin Ray taking the ball for the first game. Of course, I will have, as I've just started doing, I will have 60-second recaps after every game, win or lose. So be sure to check those out and subscribe so you never miss a beat. Anyway, should we be concerned about the Cubs? Have they dug themselves an inescapable hole? It seems so sometimes, as they're 7.5 games behind in the division, which would take near Cleveland Guardians 2025 level comeback to be able to do that. However, there's still a chance for a wild card spot, but it's hard to convince the front office to go for someone like Tarek Skubal or Aroldis Chapman when the team is as bad as it is right now. This team, as it is right now, is not a Tarek Skubal or elite reliever arm away from being great. They are a team away from being great. With all that said, that concludes our 3rd episode of Basey Brings Cubs. Again, like I said earlier, follow my recap shorts. Please like and subscribe. I'm just starting out. Love your feedback. All right. See ya.